Ah yes, Coolkid, a killer who went from being the worst in the game before the 6.0 update to actually being kinda terrifying when you know what you're doing. This video is a full guide to Coolkid's kit. Today we're going to be breaking down everything, his abilities and how they really work, how to play him correctly instead of just like a joke, which survivors you should never leave for last man standing, and what actually separates a good Coolkid from a great one, and even an amazing one. Then at the end of the video we'll be looking at two competitive scrims, which is one from me and one from Zeus/Hori, one of the owners of RFL, to see how this stuff really goes down in real matches. Because Coolkid, he's not about chasing forever, that slasher, he can't sustain that. He's about deleting half your health bar before you even can realise that you messed up, about being dynamic. Anyways, let's get into the video. Beginning our abilities section of the video, we are starting with the Corrupt Nature, which is the simplest of the abilities. It's a projectile that Coolkid can throw for 15 damage and a temporary slowness 1 effect. It has a 12-second cooldown and there's two main ways to use it. First of all, you can use Corrupt Nature after you and a survivor have stopped to regen stamina mid-chase. In this case, it's really easy to hit and you can typically get a free M1 off it. And the second use for Corrupt Nature is either you can throw it at a survivor through a wall if you know where they are waiting at a check spot, and this typically lets you get a free hit because they can't see it coming, or you can predict their pathing when they're running ahead of you, especially on a loop, and this is a really easy way to get free chip damage and catch up much easier. And this is especially easy if they're moving upstairs to predict, because it's typically a more narrow corridor and you can just throw it straight upwards towards them. Every time you land the Corrupt Nature, you can typically get a good chunk of ground when used right. It almost guarantees an M1, assuming you're not completely burnt out, and it forces the survivor to burn stamina without gaining as much distance than if they didn't have the slowness one. Next ability we're moving on to is what I would call the Coolkid's main ability. It's Walkspeed Override. This is a move that's very easy to miss, first of all, and I'm amazed that this makes a lot of people in their tutorials say, don't really use it. Well, I find that actually laughable. Without this move, I would say you're objectively the worst killer in the game. I don't know why you'd pick a killer and just ignore one of their 3 moves. Anyways, when you use Walkspeed Override, you dash forward after a 27 frame windup for 1.3 or so seconds, and when a survivor gets hit by the move, they'll take 32 impact damage and then they will take 15 burn damage over time. The move has a 20-second cooldown. This ability is insanely diverse, and I'd say there's 5-ish main ways to use it. First of them, you can use it after a Sentinel whiffs their stun. When a Builderman stops the build at a bad time, it's a free hit. This is a very good way to quick drop someone, because 1 Walkspeed Override plus 2 M1s literally kills everyone besides guest. Second way to use it is to catch up at range. If the survivors are real far, it can close the gap without wasting your stamina. If the survivors are grouped at a mid distance, you can typically just throw it out and one of them won't dodge in time, or it will force them to disperse outward from the center. Third, you can use it in tight areas when you know there's going to be predictable pathing. It doesn't even need to be a tight area if they're being predictable in a loop, but usually if you're in a narrow corridor or they're juking in the same pattern, you can almost guarantee a hit. Just be careful not to get overzealous with it. Fourth of all, and probably the most important thing to learn with Walkspeed, since it's the hardest thing to learn, is more just the wall ride tech. If you angle yourself rightly along a wall, you can drastically increase the speed you go up the wall, and when the wall ends, you can literally break off it, allowing you to do up to 90-degree turns. Now, you still don't have turn control in it, but you can use the walls to basically have so. If you put these two things together, you can be insanely fast, even faster than you should be allowed to, and have way more unpredictable hits. Learning to control this, knowing which walls is the easiest to glide off and what will end up making you bump, is a skill for Coolkid that makes you very unpredictable. And now we're moving into the 5th way to use it, which is just more the playstyle. If you don't see a good chance to hit a walk speed on the survivors you're chasing, you can bait nearby drones that are just flying around you into thinking you're chasing one person, pop walk speed, instantly turn and dash straight into them, and they can typically not react to this as long as you're not done with it. One last note is that the direction you're facing allows you to decide where you're launching survivors. Your momentum isn't changed by cameras once the dash starts. This means you can throw survivors into your next move, pizza delivery minions. Now we are moving into Coolkid's third and final ability, which is pizza delivery. This move has two offensive purposes, and it also acts as your aura read, showing the general direction of survivors as the pizza delivery minions walk towards them. Now, it is the worst aura read in the game, but doesn't make it a bad move. When you use the move, you spawn two pizza delivery minions, one on your right, one on your left. They have a base walk speed of 14, which jumps up to 17 if the survivors are, I think, 70 studs away from you. Each minion does 20 total damage, 15 impact damage, and then 5 fire damage, and applies a short slowness 2 effect. You can also see your minions through walls, and when they hit a survivor, it highlights them for a second or so. The minions stay on the map unless somebody kills them, gets hit by them, or 30 seconds, and then they expire. The move is on a 50-second cooldown, making it by far Coolkid's longest cooldown. The first offensive purpose of pizza delivery minions is to use them when someone's looping. You can drop minions and have them go to one side of loop while you go to the other side. This either forces the survivor to run into you or circle around the minions wasting stamina, or even tank a hit from them depending on the loop. Either way here, you come out on top either with a stamina advantage or basically killing the survivor with them. The second purpose is grip pressure. Drop them near multiple survivors, especially if they're a grip close to walls, and it's easy to herd at least someone into a minion. So they either have to then waste stamina dodging, or if you time it right, you can use Walkspeed Override and then throw them directly into the minions, which this can actually be a 72 to 80 damage combo, assuming your minions aren't split. Not counting slowness 2, which can literally let you up, get an M1 finisher, and that's practically a one-star combo. When you use pizza delivery, you do need a plan though. A single survivor can pull them away and make them useless, and since the cooldown's nearly an entire goddamn minute, you just can't be reckless with it like Corrupt Nature. You can't just throw it out whenever you feel like it. Sometimes you can if you're running low on stamina and have no point to use them in the near future, but besides from that, just save them because they'll be a lot more useful that way. Now that we're done discussing our abilities, we have to talk about how Coolkid can be played. So this killer can be played in a few different ways to different success. We have Rushdown, Zoner, and even Trapper depending on how you want to use your minions. He's basically a jack of all trades, but I'd say the best playstyle for majority of the time is what I would call a spread out damage or even raid boss style. That doesn't mean standing still or something tanking everything, it means constantly swapping targets if you can see a free M1 on the table. Against a coordinated team, which is where you actually do need to think, most survivors will hover around you anyway, making sure to help their teammates. This gives you a ton of chances to snag free M1s across the grip. Targeting a support first usually is how you mainly deal with this, is you get all the sentinels swarming in to help. It will make them far more predictable to dodge, and then you get a free M1 or even a free walk speed depending on how you want to do it. Then you can either swap to them and get them down real fast, or you can keep going on the support and get more and more the sentinels to all waste their stuns trying to help. The trick with this playstyle is baiting your real targets into handing themselves to you. That's basically what I'm saying. Targeting sentinels first can be a very inconsistent way to do this because support can help from a distance at all times, but sentinels, unless it's chance, they have to get in and help. And once you get a survivor under 50%, that's when you can commit and definitely know that you're going to get free M1s while still being able to focus because they're getting desperate to save their friend. Now moving into last man standing, of course you can't spread out your damage here. I like to swap to a hybrid mix of part zoner, part rushdown. Assuming the survivor didn't pop undetectable, you can wait until you find where the survivor is and then pop minions. This is where stamina management becomes everything. If you can herd the survivor into your minions, or they're already on a loop to deal with your minions, it forces the survivor to burn a lot more stamina, and looping near the minions makes their path super predictable, which allows you to either snipe with Corrupt Nature or even go for a walk speed, which can basically shut down the game real fast. But if you're using walk speed and LMS, you need to be super careful because missing here can actually cost you the whole game. If you decide to use Corrupt Nature instead, it becomes another thing for them to dodge. which this will force them even narrower if they actually dodge it, and if they don't dodge it, it can make dodging the minions for them even harder, and that can set up a walk speed. And if they dodge the corrupt nature, you can still walk speed, just again be careful with it, don't just assume it's always going to work. And if you decide not to walk speed and they dodge the corrupt nature, they're probably wasted so much their time smashing themselves as far into a corner or a wall to dodge all of this, to where you can just catch up, get an M1, and then you can finish out the LMS from there. Now, if you start this LMS in a big open space with the survivor, then you just have to resort to a rushdown first until they try to find the loot. Since staying in an open area for them is not going to be ideal, though don't use your walk speed here, because missing, again, that's an instant loss and you have the least guarantee to actually hit it. And a smaller tip, if you're trying to play zoner and the survivor still has space to run, say they're near your minions with an open path ahead, you can walk speed in front of them, like past them, which forces them to either double back into your minions or juke you, which can easily get you at least a free M1 and a corrupt nature, sometimes way more. Next, we're moving into some more smaller interactions you should know. I'm saving full matchups maybe for another ranking video for Coolkid. But number one, only use Walkspeed Override on the guest if his block is already gone, because he can free block it every time. The human reaction speed fits very easily in the 27 frame window, even with some ping. Never leave noob for LMS if you can help it, because they can hide with Ghost Burger, and that's a massive chunk of your time wasted and your pizza delivery if you even have it off cooldown. Same goes for 007 and 7, but that's to a lesser degree, because even though they have undetectable, their LMS lasts longer. Also, avoid leaving 2 time and Elliot for LMS if you can help it, since Elliot's rush hour is a super powerful way to just survive and get past all of what you try. And if 2 time is not on their second life already, you're going to regret leaving them, because they get teleported to their respawn point if they placed it, and they get 110 health in total. Also, another thing is, if you're using your walk speed for distance to get close to a grip, unless you hit someone, if there's a chance or Shiletsky there, they can always get a free stun on your end lag. Unless you hit someone, which you will get invincibility, which lets you get out your end lag before they can hit you. Dusacars can react to Walkspeed Override too, and protect teammates if they're nearby, so try aim for them instead with it if they're lingering around. There's a reason they've always been solo banned in comp against Coolkid. Lastly, Buildermans can completely ruin your day. There's dispensers love dealing with your spread out damage style, and sentries demolish your natural speed advantage if you can't get rid of Builderman early too. Next, we're moving into our scrim part of the video, which when I recorded these I thought I was going to put them the other way around, but after reconsideration, first we're going to be doing Zeus's / Hori's scrim, because I think they actually pay better than me. Then after that we'll be moving into my scrim, and then we're going to be doing more reality check things before the conclusion. Anyways, enjoy. Next we're moving on into the scrim played by Zeus or Hori, one of the owners of RFL. And this is going to be a pretty simple Coolkid game, pretty good examples of Coolkid's playstyle. Now we're going to be starting off the game with Corrupt Nature. I personally probably would have tried to go for a walk speed, but I missed, so you know, this is a good example of how less aggressive players would play. Now we are committing noob, which is a very effective start, since, as I said before, targeting supports or survivalists is a very good way to get the sentinels into a more predictable attitude. And we are going to see Guest and Shiletsky coming in, and since we know Shiletsky wants that stun, easy dodge. A bit of chip damage on him, he's going to either need the chicken or just accept that he is down possibly in a future chase, and he decides to chicken, and that's the noob quick dropped really early on in the match. This is looking pretty good. We see Taff, so now we're going to decide to commit Taff. As so far we've seen that it's pretty easy to bait these sentinels in this case, and unfortunately epilepsy mode is on, so they're going to have to try to use their ears to see where Taff went. Taff didn't go too far though, so we're going to keep on chase. And we do need to keep in mind that Guest is here. Guest gets hit by Corrupt Nature, but we're still going to be focusing Taff, as it makes Guest much easier to predict. Another hit, and Taff is going to run into a wall and fortunately get walk speed, probably block coming out from Guest. And that's a quick drop on the Taff. Now we know Guest is currently down as a block, so it would be probably ideal to find him. Unfortunately the sub-space trip mine was still there. Now we are beginning chase with Guest, and we see Shadletsky over there lurking around. Now, unfortunately, we are probably going to see a parry come out. Yep, but they missed the parry, and that's a free Walkspeed. Shadletsky unfortunately gets the free stun, which isn't possible anymore actually, so that's a good note between versions. Guest is looping outside to the rock, and this is, yep, good pizza delivery timing. And this is going to force him to break off, and this is probably a kill. Never mind Ellie with the pizza. Now, they did stop the healing before he could get full healing, but that's a good boost for Guest. But Guest is probably pretty screwed here. He's looking for a block, he's desperate, so it's going to be easy to bait. And there we go. Now the goal is either going to be get Elliot low for LMS or kill Elliot before LMS. Elliot can be a massive issue, especially compared to Shadletsky when solo, since Rush Hour is dumbly OP. Seems we're going to be getting Elliot low first at least, but Shadletsky comes in, tanks the walk speed, and is probably going to get to one tap here. Pizza delivery coming out to cut off the Shadletsky, probably going to go right on this. Shadletsky's probably very dead here, unless Elliot can come in. Walkspeed coming out to punish the missed stun. Almost hit the predictable pathing Corrupt Nature, but just not quite. With just slightly better aiming, that could have been. And there's a pizza. Killed before grabbed the pizza. Now this is not actually an ideal LMS. We're going to have to probably see a Corrupt Nature to Walkspeed come out here, or this could be a very easy loss. In this game just before this, Hori actually lost LMS to the Elite because of Rush Hour. So we're going to see how this goes. Probably a good Walkspeed coming out here. Just about. Oh, not actually. There we go. I probably went on for Walkspeed earlier, but either way, this is going to be a pretty clean. Oh, there we go. The predictable pathing into the Corrupt Nature. And that wraps up the scrim from Hori. Now, what I can say about this is we saw good few quick drops coming in, and there was a few mistakes, I would say personally, but it depends literally on the person. This killer can be played very differently depending on thinking. If they went for a zoning playstyle when Shadletsky's in the ball pit, I probably would have kept up the pressure so they didn't chicken, or baited the chicken and then went to kill them there. But besides from that, a pretty solid game from Hori overall. Thank you very much for letting me use your footage. First of the two scrims we're reviewing, this is my scrim. So we're going to see a few mistakes coming out in this match. I'll be able to mention them. So first going to start with an early pizza delivery. Unfortunately this was before you could see them through walls, so it'd be a lot harder to pincer someone into them. Now I tried to go for the predict on the TAF, but unfortunately I missed. Now I do M1 the subspace strip mine and commit TAF, and I land the Walkspeed Override, since unfortunately there's only one direction he go, and probably thought I was going to predict his pathing, but I just assumed he would stick. Going to see 2-time coming in for a backstab. Now I should have been using my camera a bit more than I was in this scrim, but I was actually pre-level 300 when I played this, so I was less experienced on dealing with 2-times. And now unfortunately I tried to predict the walk speed, but it does not go too well. And this is basically a chase reset on iPhone, so I'm just kind of trying to regen my stamina, decide who I should try to commit. Now Noob is there, so I'm going to try to get them and see what I can get from others. For some reason, probably not the best break, but unfortunately for TAF it works out. Land the Corrupt Nature into Walkspeed, a very deadly combo. And now Guest is going to try want to take me off TAF, and I'm going to accept the gambit. Unfortunately, despite playing against this Guest enough to usually predict when he's going to block, I actually get hit by the parry. Now I do land a Corrupt Nature, so this is a very bad position for Guest. I knew that even if I missed that walk speed, I would be able to bonk the wall without getting sent into the distance. Now I'm going to commit Elliot, since I know 2-time wasted stab. Elliot has dropped pizza. Now I don't know what I was really doing there, I kind of forgot the shift lock. Now I don't question me in chat. I decided to commit Gas since he's low, but then 2-time decided to come in. You see, While I'm not getting any kills early on, everyone's getting low, and Elliot's kind of overwhelmed. Now, unfortunately, I run into the tripwire, but 2-time misses the stab. I should have known they were there before they even went for the stab. Unfortunately, as I said before, I was less used to using my camera, so as you can see, if you aren't used to flicking your camera around every corner, you can still make it work. And Corrupt Nature on Taff, and Taff is a dead Taff here. They need their teammates to come in. Probably should have M1 Guess there, but when Guess body block, need to be careful. Now that's the kill on the Taff. And I'm going to their side to try just ignore Guest and get him to come in another way. Trying to help a teammate. I see 2-time coming up here, and I'm probably going to try Corrupt Nature. 2-time drops before I can do so, so I'm going to try zone them into this corner. Hit the Corrupt Nature. Guess is going to probably come and try help, but that's a death. From here, I'm probably going to try get Elliot out, and I'm going to try get Elliot out, but I'm probably not going to get Elliot out because they have 2 supports still. Well, 2 people to support them, a Guest and a Noob to body block. Noob gets the body block out, and for some reason they don't decide to tank minions. They probably used it too early. He wastes a block on dodging Corrupt Nature damage, but this is probably a dead Guest. Unfortunately, I zero myself, but Elliot misses that pizza throw. Guest is trying to think of how you can get around the rock to get to the pizza. Unfortunately, I know what he's thinking here, so I land a Corrupt Nature, and this is probably a dead Guest. Walkspeed Override, and he's dead. Now, it's probably best for me to get Noob down because Elliot is already low, and they're the only person here who can't really get healed. Noob down to half health, probably going to go for Corrupt Nature. Hit Corrupt Nature through the wall, and this is looking like a very unfortunate spot for Noob. Pizza delivery coming out anytime now to probably... Yep, there we go. Try to split them as best as I can, but as I said, the pathing through the wall is not the best. I'm actually not sure how I tracked that Noob up there. I actually missed that in the watchback, but either way, they go for this. Now, unfortunately, a minion does not follow Elliot. I zero myself. I keep zeroing myself. That's something you need to remember when playing Coolkid, to not do that, since it's very easy without having who to rely on. I Walkspeed Override to catch up. Go for Corrupt Nature through the wall. Unfortunately, it misses, but when he stops to cola, that's where we get the kill. Now, this is going to be a pretty simple LMS. Leaving Elliot for LMS usually isn't a great thing, but I know they are basically one tap. Any Walkspeed Override, any Corrupt Nature and one combo is going to get them, so I'm going to pizza delivery pretty early to get them to waste their stamina running past me. Now, the direction they're running isn't ideal for them because they're actually going to zone themselves, especially with minions coming in, so I'm going to try cut them off. They wasted Rush Hour there because they're panicking, and that's a free kill. Now that we've seen both scrims, we see how Coolkid plays in reality. We had to do the unfortunate reality check. The truth about everything I've said about Coolkid is, while it's easy to hear and he's an easy character to pick up, he's a lot harder to master than you'd imagine, especially if you're thinking about going against good players. Walkspeed Override is a very good move, but unfortunately it can't be turned like Void Rush. It doesn't have a massive hitbox like Demonic Pursuit, and it can't be cancelled like Void Rush. Your Gap Closer and your Punish tool are combined into a single ability slot. Compare this to something like Slasher. You have Raging Pace and Gasping Wound completely separately. Coolkid can absolutely work, but to make him effective against pros, you need real playtime. You need to learn it. Not just, a guy can only take you so far. The rest comes from failing, learning, and slowly building game sense when you have the construction that the guy gives you on how to play the killer. Anyways, with everything being said, the conclusion. So with all that being said, yeah, Coolkid's not as bad as he used to be. He's an actually pretty decent killer now. Some people actually think he's the best, but I'd have to disagree with that. Corrupt Nature gives you pretty cheap hits. It's a good move. It's not the best projectile in the game, but it's pretty useful. Walkspeed Override is a very, very good move, but you need to learn how to use it, and minions turn the map into a very easy way to trap people. Like a basically John Doe light if you think about it. Knowing that doesn't really matter though if you don't practice. You have to always remember to practice to learn how to play the killer, as with every guide. But I think that's everything I can go over in this video to help you. I hope this helps you get out there and learn how to play this killer, because it's a very fun killer to play, I'd say at least. So yeah, good luck, enjoy, go out there, probably get destroyed in an 8-player lobby because this game is very survivor-sided. Anyways, that's about it. See ya.